Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dwayne Spires, and I am here today to reveal how to use a 30-day free trial in your business to take it to the next level. Now, in this 7-part course, you are going to start by first learning the mindset behind why a 30-day free trial is incredible and how it works to grow your business. And you're also going to learn how to find the prospect's true motive. We also call this their why for joining your free trial. We're going to teach you how to lock in the sale from day one of the free trial. Also, action steps you can take to keep your prospects coming back week after week until they ultimately join your program, and how to use a rewards success system. You're going to really love that one. Also, how to quickly and easily close the sale, typically during week 3 and 4. And finally, how to increase member referrals. So guys, get ready to take lots of notes and also turn off those cell phones so you can focus on this information. It is game changing. So let's get started. Let's talk about mindset. First off, a 30-day free trial presents 0 barriers to entry. You have a prospect that's interested in your program and you're going to let them try it for free. It's fantastic. There's no reason for them to not want to try it. It gives you a no pressure approach. And later on in this course, when we talk a little bit more about the sales side, it's going to be nice because you and your staff will have a much easier time to close the sale with this no pressure approach. And quite simply, the word free attracts more attention when you advertise. It's much better than trying to make a sale from the first moment somebody learns about you online or in the traditional marketing sense. And lastly, this mindset, this offer of 30 days free trial works so well for cold traffic. Specifically Facebook. You have people that are scrolling on their phones or they're on their computer and they're not necessarily searching for your program, but they happen to just stumble across your offer. So when you're offering something for free, it gives them that opportunity to look a little bit further in depth without feeling pressured like they're being sold something. All right. How to find your prospects' why for joining your program. A lot of salespeople, they get this part of the program wrong. They think that they have to enroll the person, collect all of their information, and just toss them into a group class. And that's simply not the case. I want you guys to think of this part of the system as the interview. And without, with any interview, you have to ask a lot of questions. So let's dive a little bit deeper. All right, so the 5 steps to success during this part of the system. Number 1 is you want to welcome the person into your facility and give them a tour. And you want to use something that I refer to as the ownership strategy. And quite simply, this is when you walk them around your facility and you say things like, this is where you're going to place your shoes. This is the bathroom that you're going to use. This is the lobby that you're going to wait into before your class begins. This is the equipment that you get to use. These are the mats you get to train on. These are your punching bags that you get to kick or punch. These are your instructors, as you introduce them to your team. So you want to use the word you and your as many times as possible to give them a sense that they're already members of your program. You want them to feel like they also own the facility. All right, number 2, have your prospects, or I like to call them now guests, fill out an application. And I used the word application intentionally because you want to be able to get them to answer a lot of questions about the reasons why they came to you in the first place. And in doing so, number 3 allows you to discuss in detail about the benefits that they select. Now, one thing that's great, when you review your enrollment paperwork, you can have a lot of different boxes with different benefits that are very common in your industry. And depending on the type of program that you offer, will distinguish which benefits that are more common. But you can also give them a little bit of space to write in their own reasons why they want to join. And number four is really important. So you're going to start introducing the concept of investing in yourself. And number four states you want to visualize success and ask how their life will improve because they have invested in themselves, because they're attending your program. So it's one thing just to talk about benefits, but you really want to dive deep and talk about how their life is going to change, or if they're signing up a child, or a minor in your program, how that person's life is going to change for the best. And then number five, you want to sit down and create 4 weeks of expectations. You want to discuss rewards and briefly talk about your membership options. Don't jump ahead of yourself. This is not an attempt to close the sale right now. But what you want to do is tell them that, during week number one, many of our members experience X, Y, and Z results. In week number two, you can expect this. In week number three, you can expect that. And just to kind of foreshadow a little bit, you want to kind of like write this down and put a star next to it. Let them know that in week number three, you're going to have a special one-on-one free consultation to discuss their results as well as options for membership. So don't jump ahead of yourself, but just keep in mind that you do want to mention it. All right, moving forward, let's talk about how to lock in the sale from day one. And I really like this graphic here because it symbolizes a small key. And I want you to imagine, it's the small keys to success that really take your business to the next level. And a lot of the strategies that I'm going to share with you now allow your new member to have a magical experience the very first time that they take a class from you. Okay? This works well for kids, teens, adults, everybody. So, sales success from day one, well, you want to introduce the guest, and we're going to start referring to them now as the new member. And you want to introduce them to everybody possible. People in your lobby, people in the class, and it always helps to get to know everybody on a first name basis. If you're teaching kids, you want to learn their name as quickly as possible, and you want to learn their parents' names. And then if you're teaching adults, then obviously you want to learn their names. So I put in parentheses here, social pressure is really good. Now, when you make somebody feel like they're part of your team or your family, they're more inclined to continue to come back because they feel welcome. They don't feel intimidated by people. There's so many programs where they have multiple skill levels in the same class. So if you're doing, like, let's say martial arts, you might have black belts who might be a little bit intimidating to somebody that's a white belt. Or if you're offering dance or cheerleading, you might have a girl in that class that can do an advanced tumbling pass, whereas the beginner can barely stand on one foot. If you're doing personal training or fitness, you might have somebody that is in peak professional athletic shape, and then you might have somebody that's, taking their first class and they're 30 to 50 pounds overweight. So you want to make everybody feel extremely welcome. And when you build your culture, you intentionally want to make everybody feel that way. So it really helps people coming back because they feel welcome and they don't get intimidated. Now, one thing that's really great, and this is something that has worked across the board in multiple industries, is you want to give a first-class reward and certificate. The certificate is simple, like congrats, welcome to the team, you've accomplished your first class. Some program-specific goals, like if you're doing a martial arts program, you could give away a white belt. If you're doing cheerleading or dance, you might give away a hair bow or a t-shirt. If you're doing a fitness-based program, you might have like a sweatband that they can wear on their forearm, or an inexpensive t-shirt that they can wear when they work out in. So giving a first-class reward is key. It makes them feel really good, and it starts the law of reciprocity. Now keep in mind that anytime somebody's given you something, like a gift for free, you naturally feel compelled to give them something back. And in this example, if you give them a first-class reward, they give you their time. All right, moving forward. Use social media to acknowledge the fact that they've joined the team, that they're part of the family, and you also want to include their why. So you might say, welcome Susie to the team. She's excited about her new weight loss goals and her new physical fitness goals. Or welcome little Johnny to the team. This is a martial arts analogy. Welcome little Johnny to the team. We're so excited to have you. We look forward to helping you become bully proof and develop more confidence, discipline, and respect. So, you guys know your programs better than anybody else. And it's important to be able to highlight their why. And especially when they see that on social media, it really sets in the fact that they've come to your program for the right reasons, makes them feel like you really truly understand them. And then lastly, at the end of day one, you want to give them a phone call to compliment and reemphasize their why. A quick phone call from an instructor, business owner, or trainer will really make them feel good about themselves, and it'll make them feel like they've made a good decision by going to your program. These phone calls typically take 1 to 3 minutes, and they have an incredible amount of impact. So definitely make sure that you make those phone calls. All right. So, a question that I get across the country: how do I keep new members coming back each week? Well, first and foremost, you have to imagine that you're attracting the right people to your program. So, no matter what programs that you're teaching, they're there for a specific reason. So, if you teach fun classes, if they're actually enjoying themselves, they're going to come back. So, that's first and foremost. Secondly, you want to introduce them to the group each class. So, a moment ago, I talked about what to do on their very first class, but you still want to continue to introduce the new student or the new member each and every class that they come to during the entire 30-day trial. And a lot of times you're going to have multiple new students at the same time. So get into the habit of memorizing their names and making them feel special. Also, this is so important. Highlight their progress. And on the notes that you're taking, I want you to underline the word small wins. Underline those words because a lot of times coaches and trainers and instructors, they really focus on like the big wins. When a kid gets promoted to a next belt or when somebody loses 30 to 50 pounds. But in reality, what if somebody lost 5 pounds? Wouldn't that be something to celebrate? What if a kid came in and broke his first board in a martial arts class? Like, that's a huge reason to celebrate. So no matter how big and most importantly, how small the wins are, highlight their progress in class. Have the rest of the members in your program clap for the new students. And then talk about benefits at the end of each class. When you have all of your students lined up and you're ready to, dismiss the class, spend a quick 30 seconds, maybe a minute, talking about benefits of your program and how proud you are of everybody's progress, and you're just really excited to see them again in a day or two. Always keep them wanting to come back. And then give awards. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in the next section, and there's some really cool things that you guys can do to keep people happy. So, think back to when you were a kid, preschool, elementary school, even all the way up through college. We love getting acknowledged. We love getting rewards. We love the recognition. So let's dive a little bit deeper and generate some ideas for you and ways that you can award people. Well, we've already spoken about the first class award and certificate. It's super cost effective, a couple bucks, and the certificate, might be a single piece of paper that's a color print for $1. I mean, it's so cheap to be able to recognize people. But let's go a step further. What are some of the accomplishment awards that are fitness based? Could you print up a certificate when a kid in your class is able to hit a certain amount of push-ups? Or a woman in your class loses the first 5 pounds? Like, there's so many accomplishment awards that you can brainstorm and acknowledge at the end of your class. Now, another step forward would be results-based awards. This is the weight loss goals. This could be like in martial arts, cheerleading, or dance. This could be like a flexibility award, like if they're getting their side splits or their straddles. This could be, if they're holding their stance for a minute without quivering and falling over. If you're in the fitness game, this could be they've lost 5 pounds. They've lost the 15-pound threshold. I mean, you could do a ton of different weight limits. You could do awards based on how many inches a person has lost. Do their measurements during the initial assessment when you're sitting down and you're signing them up for your 30-day free trial. Like, really think about ways that you can compare before and after results and then reward people for it. It's as simple as that. And then another thing that's really cool is creating tests. Now, in the martial arts world, that's natural. People progress, they test for belts. In cheerleading and dance, well, in gymnastics, for example, they have levels. But in cheer and dance, you can also create levels based on curriculum. So you always want to give your students the opportunity to test. But what if you're in the fitness game? Could you do some baseline fitness tests? Could you do a cardio test? Could you say something like, you know, to graduate into level two, you must be able to run a half a mile. You must be able to do 25 sit ups, 25 push ups, 25 squats. You could really get creative and work up to different levels. So, having testings and recognizing them for that success will help you retain students much longer, and it will give them something to look forward to at the end of the 30-day trial. And guys, this is key. I want you to really like underline this part of your notes. Write down the test has to occur at the end of the 30-day trial. So you want to create some type of test that they can pass within the first 30 days. Even if they pass this test with flying colors, it's still a positive acknowledgement and it's pushing them in the right direction. All right. The most important thing. Dwayne, how do we close the sale? Well, what's interesting a lot of times is that these trial students, they'll come up to you and they'll want to enroll. And they usually do this within the first or second week because you've made them feel incredible. You've called them at home, you've acknowledged them on social media, you have responded to questions in your group, you've answered emails, you've been there to support them. So now it's time to close the sale. How do we do it? Well, if they have not already enrolled, then what you want to do is schedule a review or assessment for week number 3. Now, what's cool about this is this assessment buys you some one-on-one time to talk to them about how well they're doing, and it also gives you the opportunity to see where they're at so that they're ready to test at the end of week 4. Remember what I said a moment ago? You want to incorporate a testing into this system. All right, now number 2, you want to compliment them on their progress and then ask them how they feel about the results so far. If they've noticed that their child is behaving better at school, then ask them how they feel. If they notice that their child is improving his or her grades or they're developing more confidence and more strength, talk about that. If you're doing an adult program, fitness kickboxing or personal training, ask them how they feel about the 1 or 2 inches that they may have lost, or the 5 to 10 pounds they may have already lost, or the healthy eating habits that they've established. I mean, these are all huge victories. So when you get people talking about how they feel about the results, then they base decisions off of emotion. Okay? Emotion is what helps you close the sale. Number 3, you have to do a good job of reminding them of their ultimate why and reconfirm that your program is the solution. So it's very helpful during this assessment to have their original application that they filled out so you can resort back, you can read what they wrote, and you can also read the notes that you took after the initial consultation. And you want to remind them that your program is the solution to all of their problems. In reality, it truly is. It's going to be a transformational time for them, and it's going to be incredible. Now, number 4, congratulate them on their progress so far. And because they are such an awesome person that's in your program or their child is doing so well, use that as the reason why you're inviting them to enroll and to become an official team member or family member. And number 5, discuss your membership options and simply ask which one will help them accomplish their goals. So it's not a question of whether or not they want to join or they do not want to join, but instead you've already identified your program is the solution. Your program is going to create a transformation, and they are going to pay you for that transformation. And they're going to do that by enrolling. So when you're looking at your different membership options, you have to assume the sale and simply ask them which one do they feel will best help them accomplish their goals. And then sit back and don't say a word. They will talk, they'll ask questions, and then they are going to enroll. Here's an interesting statistic that comes from Dale Carnegie. He states 91% of customers say that they give referrals, but only 11% of salespeople ask for referrals. So it's at this time when your prospect becomes a new member where you say, I'm so proud of the progress you've already had. Is there anybody else that you care about that would like to do a 30-day free trial as well? And then have them think about their friends and their family or their coworkers or their kids or their children's friends. There's so many people in everybody's network that they can send your way that you're really hurting yourself if you don't ask for a referral. So make sure that you do. And let's talk about how to increase your referrals. So keep in mind that you have somebody, they just invested in themselves, they just committed to your program, and they are so excited. And regardless, again, if it's for them or their child, they're pumped up right now. They're in a high state of emotion. They're excited, they're happy, they feel good. This is the best time to promote your referral program. And then you want to be generous with the prize. So across the country, I've seen, cash incentives. That works really well. You can do gift cards. You can do free apparel. Anything that they can wear that represents your brand is a win-win. So be very generous with the prize that you give. And, something that's really great is you want to publicly acknowledge all referrals. You want to acknowledge the person that was the referrer and the new member. So go onto your social media platforms, take photos with them. Everybody's smiling, they're happy, and you really want to promote to your entire group or your entire tribe, I like to call it, that you have an awesome referral program. And the more that you promote it, the fresher and the more that it's going to be on everybody's top of the mind awareness, and then that will result into more referrals. And then lastly, just have an ongoing contest. You could set metrics. If you refer 3 people a month, then your next month is free. Or if you refer X amount of people in this 90-day period, then you get this amazing prize. So do the math, figure out how much money those new members are going to bring in, and then determine an awesome prize. We've seen 3 to 4, maybe even 5-day cruises that are really awesome if you have somebody that enrolls 10 new members. So there's really cool things that you can do other than just cash and gift cards. You can do experiences, vacations, trips with the family, stuff like that. So keep your mind open and do the math, and you'll come up with something really awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the secrets revealed for the 30-day free trial. I want you guys to implement it into your marketing as soon as possible. Get it onto your website, your landing pages, your Facebook marketing. Create videos about it and have fun and start to get new members literally today. All right, once again, this is Dwayne Spires, and I hope you enjoyed this awesome course. Feel free to post all questions that you might have, and let's start an awesome conversation on how to maximize your results.